everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
from San Diego. It's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Ascow. Got a jam-packed show for you today. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Tuesday afternoon here in sunny San Diego. Having a great, great day. Glad you guys could join us. We got so much to talk about and lots to get to. Let's get all the housekeeping out the way, and then we'll get this show rocking and rolling. SportsWorldRadio.com is the place to listen to the show. If you want to hang out in our chat room, head on over to Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. Get yourself a free account. Once you do that, type in Sports World Radio. Favorite our show, like our show. At the bottom of the screen, the player will come up. Click the start button, or just click over the heart there to the right, and then the bubble, the chat bubble. Chat room will open up, and you could start chatting away. If you don't want to do all that, dial 619-663-3715. That's 619-663-3715. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. That's twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio, as well as head on over to Facebook and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Now, with all the particulars out of the way, what do you say? Hey, we bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing good, Jeff, and welcome everybody to Sports World Radio on this 28th of October, 2014, Tuesday, 6:06 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:06 p.m. on the West. It's nice and sunny, as you said, Jeff, in sunny San Diego. Up here, cold and very rainy and wet.
Well, that's what you get for living where you live, you rat bastard.
I was expecting you to say that.
That's what you
Doing
get.
well in general, but we got to work today.
That's what you get for living where you live, man. I went out for my walk early today. It was smoking hot, man. Freaking hot out here. Freaking hot out here all the freaking time. I love it. Although it was a little chilly late last night. After midnight, it got a little chilly. Got down to like 40. Oops.
Yeah.
So, hey, let me ask you a question. Let's start this show right off with a bang. Dr. Myth is in the house. Josh is... Hey, don't forget, we got our good friend, Frank Sprankle, but Big Wind, joining us in the second hour of the show today. And I'm dying to see what his profile picture is going to look like here on Mr. Spreaker, because his Chicago Bears lost to your New England Patriots over there. So he's got to change his profile picture. If he comes in looking like he comes in normally, I hope you're going to get ready to razz him.
I will plan on razzing him, and that would be real funny and hysterical.
That would be him, wouldn't it?
That would be Frank. I know Josh is enjoying it.
I'm sure Josh is enjoying it, the rat bastard.
All right, our first topic of the day, Monday Night Football. I watched actually the whole game. I was like, didn't know if I wanted to watch it, but instead I did. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you got to be just sick to your stomach.
What else?
Losing in overtime to the Redskins.
Sean, what else were you supposed to watch last night?
There wasn't very much.
Exactly.
NHL if I wanted to, but there wasn't a lot of big games for the NHL.
Boston wasn't playing last night, so there's no reason to watch the NHL. There was only one game on that really had and right before that game, or right after that game started, I should say, I heard from Gary. He hollered at me on Skype and says, hey, do me a favor on your radio show tomorrow. Bust some chops and throw me some props. What? Of course I'm going to bust chops, but I'm not going to throw you no props.
I'm going to say it right now in the chat room and say it to you, Jeff. The Dallas Cowboys officially looked horrible last night.
I was kind of enjoying looking at Tony Romo laying on the ground last night. That kind of made me smile. That kind of made me smile. And when I see him laying on the ground, you know what my first thought went through my head? You know what my first thought went through my head when I saw him laying on the ground and they were like, oh no, Tony's on the ground, doctors are out there, and I got a smile on my face. You know what my first thought was?
What?
Skip Bayless.
I was thinking more of Jerry Jones. You saw in the box seat that he was very, very concerned after what
I kind of
ended
like,
up
you know what?
happening.
I kind of like it because they interviewed him during the game while he was sitting in his box, right? You saw that. They interviewed him during the game. He's sitting in his box. He's giving him praise. And then, boom, Tony Romo gets hurt, and he's down in the field for the rest of the game. He's like, oh, no. I can't say, oh, no. He's down in the field. Oh, no. My quarterback's hurt. Oh, no. I got to go down there and see what's going on. I can't sit here. Oh, no. I got to go down there.
Brandon Whedon came in as backup quarterback and threw a touchdown pass to tie the game up at 17, but this was a huge loss for the Cowboys. They knew very well, Jeff, they could put the NFC East division maybe slightly away. I lost a point in Pick'em. I only gained 8 points this week. Gary was very happy. He told me he gained 9 points. And Double-A, he picked the Redskins to beat the Cowboys.
I am gladly losing 1 point on that game. Happily to lose a point on that game. Very happy to lose a point on that game. In fact, before that game started, I was watching all the pre-shows and all that, and I'm like, I almost went back and changed my pick to Washington before the game started last night. As I said, Washington's going to win this game tonight. I just had that feeling. Happily, I'll lose a point there. I don't care. Don't bother me any. Tony Romo was his quarterback rating 95.7, 17 to 28, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, sacked 5 times. 5 times he got sacked.
I watched it, Jeff, and I noticed it. I saw that the Redskins were putting a lot of pressure on Tony Romo, and on one of the sacks, yeah, he got hurt. I saw a lot of concerned faces for the Dallas Cowboys. 17 to 28, he threw for 209 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and no interceptions. But I really think the key turning points in this game, Jeff, were 2 fumbles that hurt the Dallas Cowboys. They were driving down the field, and I was like, oh, those fumbles are going to cost them big time. And it definitely did.
Well, hey,
and, for the Washington Redskins, unbelievable performance by
Colt
McCoy.
You want to know something? The Dallas Cowboys were 5 for 12 on 3rd down. Okay? 5 for 12 on 3rd down. Now, check this out, Sean. You're going to like this. I want you to guess. How many times did the Washington Redskins blitz on 3rd down?
It seems like it was a lot during the game last night. I know my good buddy Josh Lopez, he tagged me and Gary and Double-A and Nick, and we were all talking about it last night. And we were saying, what the heck is going on here with the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, and that's right, Josh. Sleepless in Jerry World.
Okay, so the Redskins, the Cowboys were 5 of 12 last night. Out of 12 attempts on 3rd downs, how many times do you think the Redskins blitzed them on 3rd down?
Oh, my gosh. Maybe 12 or 14 times. There was a lot of blitzing that they put on Romo.
Right. I'm just talking about 3rd down alone, Sean.
3rd down alone.
Just 3rd down. The Dallas Cowboys had 12 attempts on 3rd down. How many times out of the 12 times did you think the Redskins blitzed?
On 3rd down, Jeff, I'll say about 7 or 8. I'm going to predict that.
They blitzed all 12 times.
I was off by 5 or 4.
On 3rd down, Dallas Cowboys had 12 3rd down attempts. Washington Redskins blitzed on every single one of them.
Yeah, they did. And, for the Redskins, that's what they need to do. The good game plan that they had.
They brought the house. They blitzed the living crap out of Romo, and the offensive line didn't know what the hell to do. That offensive line looked great for last 5 games. Well, you know something? They looked like crap last night.
Double A, actually, Myth and Josh, you guys are funny, and we can see this when the Dallas Cowboys pay fans $10. Cowboys choking are worth $10.
That was great last night. There was a lot of Redskin fans there too, wasn't there?
There was a lot of Redskin fans, and Jerry Jones even was interviewed. He talked a lot about how big the rivalry was between the Cowboys and the Redskins, and that it's still an old rivalry going back years and years and years. But I have to say this before we get to that first commercial break, Jeff. Cowboy fan, you'd be sick. Okay, you're 6-2. You're still in first place in the NFC East Division, but you're leading 1 game over Philadelphia. And to cap this off, Jeff, Arizona comes in to Dallas next weekend. This is a must-win game for the Dallas Cowboys against a red-hot Cardinal team.
Dallas hasn't had their bye yet either.
No.
Philly has. So Dallas doesn't have their bye yet until the week after they play Jacksonville, which is in London. So week 11 they get their bye because they play Jacksonville in week 10. So week 11 they get their bye. We're going to run to our first commercial break. You listen to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Be fire safe during the holidays. Only use decorations that are non-flammable or flame retardant. Check holiday lights each year for frayed wires or excessive wear. And do not link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. Consider using battery-operated flameless candles which look and smell like real candles. If your celebration includes a natural tree, keep it away from any heat source or exit. Water your tree daily to keep it from becoming dry. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov. This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet. I guarantee it, bitches. Hey, Sean and I were talking during the break, and I just couldn't help myself. I kept going and going and going and going and going and going and going. I just couldn't help myself. Hey, Gary, your team is still in freaking last place, okay? Thank you very much for the win. I appreciate it, yes, but your team is still in last place. Now, I'm making a prediction. I'm calling it now. I'm saying it now. I already told Sean. He's laughing. That's why he's laughing, because he knows what I'm going to say.
This is going to be great.
I'm saying it now, so when it actually happens, Skip Bayless, you can't say I didn't say it 8 weeks before it happened. And I'm not going to change my mind like you do all the time, you freaking rat bastard. I'm telling you that right now. This is what's going to happen. The last week of the season, Dallas Cowboys play the Washington Redskins in Washington. That game, Dallas Cowboys will have to win that game just to make the playoffs. You hear that, Skip? Just to make the playoffs. Okay? And guess what's going to happen? The Washington Redskins are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys again on the last game of the season to knock them out of the playoffs. And what are you going to say then, Skippy?
If he was here right now, he'd say, how can you make that prediction when there's 8 weeks left? You know Dallas will be going to the playoffs, so it won't matter. That's what he probably would say.
You know how I can make that prediction? Because I have balls, and you don't. That's how I can make that prediction.
Dallas, yes, that's going to get tough for them when they play Arizona, but could we see it happening? I know Cowboy fans are like thinking, good gracious, we lost to the Washington Redskins last night.
You want to know something, Skippy? You want to know how I can make that goddamn prediction? I'll tell you. Just like I made the prediction 2 years before it happened on this very radio show, and my co-host, Sean Mann, can back me up on this.
Yep.
2 years before it actually happened, the day after Urban Meyer got fired from Florida, I made the statement that he will be the next head coach at Ohio State. And what happened? 2 years later, bada bing, bada boom. Don't screw with me, Skippy. That's how I can make that prediction. And watch, I'm making it 8 weeks in advance, so when it happens, I can shove it down your throat.
Well, yesterday, Jeff, you pointed out that Cowboys will start going downhill and start the losing, and that choking will start hitting them. And as I pointed out in the chat room, look what happened in 2008, 2011, 2012, and 2013. 4 weeks that the Cowboys, 4 times the Cowboys have lost on the final week of the season. 2008, as everybody remembers, they lost 44-6, and when Wade Phillips was head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, then he got fired after that disastrous season. 2011, everybody remembers that. The Cowboys played the Giants, lost the final game of the season, 31-14, and the Giants went on and won the Super Bowl. 2012, it was the Redskins who prevailed against Dallas 28-18 to knock them out and send Washington to the playoffs. And then last year, 2013, Philadelphia, again, knocking Dallas out, and that was without an injured Tony Romo.
And this year, it's going to happen again, and it's going to be the Washington Redskins that do it to the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to knock them out. You know, I told Sean this when we were on commercial break. Or maybe I said it on the air. When Romo was, I think I said it on the air. When Romo was laying on the ground there, and they were all huddling around him, they went to commercial break, I thought of Skip Bayless right away. I was laughing. I had a smile on my face. I was like, yeah, take that, Skippy. I can imagine what he just said.
He's probably quiet, but he'll be coming up with another excuse saying, oh, don't worry, my Dallas Cowboys will get back on the winning track this weekend by beating the Arizona Cardinals. That's what he would probably
said
say.
Yesterday on this very show, or maybe I said it on Saturday's show on the NFL Real Talk, but I know I said it. This week, the Washington Redskins will start the demise of the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't I say that?
Yes, you did.
And what happened?
It's already starting. They lost last night, and in November, we'll see what happens.
It started last night, didn't it?
Yes, it does. And every time after Thanksgiving, when the Cowboys either win or lose, that's when December, the miserable month, the misery for the Cowboys starts in December.
And that was the last game in October. This Sunday is the first game in November. And they play Arizona, correct? It's
yes.
Another game that they're going to lose.
Yep, 6-1 Arizona at 6-2 Dallas. Boy, I can't wait till we have NFL Real Talk
Another
on Saturday,
game that Dallas
Jeff.
is going to lose.
Oh boy,
And then what you going to say, Skippy?
that'll be 2 straight losses.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying that game on Sunday in Dallas is a must-win for the Cowboys, because the Arizona Cardinals, they're probably saying, look, Dallas lost to Washington last night. Got nothing to lose because we're red hot. We're 6-1. We beat some good football teams. San Francisco, San Diego, Philadelphia, and now they're probably saying, let's do it to Dallas because it'll show that we are the team to beat in the NFC. That's probably what the Cardinals are saying.
I'm okay with that.
Josh goes, the 11th equals revenge. I can't wait long enough into my Facebook without wanting to throw up. He's still upset about the picture.
Poor Bubba. But I'm just telling you, the last game of the season for the Dallas Cowboys is with the Washington Redskins. That game is going to be, if Dallas wins, they're in. If Dallas loses, they're out. Washington's going to do me a favor and knock them out.
And other news to report for Sports World Radio. Tonight is opening night of the NBA, and Jeff, you've waited a long time. It's back. The NBA starts tonight.
I know. I can't freaking wait.
TNT, the first game, it'll be San Antonio Spurs hosting the Dallas Mavericks, the other team, other professional league. And this is a rematch, gentlemen, of the Western Conference quarterfinals between San Antonio and Dallas. Spurs beat them in 7 games, but that was not an easy series. Everybody's wondering, too, Jeff, can the Spurs do the same thing, repeat again? I saw something on ESPN saying the Spurs have their same team back. They're going to be tough to beat in the Western Conference.
Yes, they are going to be tough to beat. It's going to be beautiful. I heard that there's no movement with the Finals MVP on his contract yet.
No.
You know, they haven't made any headway on his contract yet. So that's
NBA elimination starting Friday, buddy.
Yeah, NBA elimination starting on Friday. And I told Sean this, so I'm going to make the announcement right now when he says that. This Saturday, our NFL Real Talk show, that's going to be our last show for 2 weeks. I'm going on vacation. I'm leaving on Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. So this is going to be our last week of shows. I'm going on vacation, so I'm taking 2 weeks off, so everybody enjoy your vacation.
The NBA, of course, starting, and we got some big games coming up starting tomorrow. The first game on ESPN starting tomorrow, it'll be the New York Knicks hosting the Chicago Bulls, and I'm going to be thinking of Frank and Josh and the big New York Knicks fan, Jeff Escow, in this one, the Knicks and the Bulls.
Knicks and the Bulls. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. When is that game? Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's on ESPN.
Yeah, that's on ESPN, right opposite the baseball game, if there is a 7th game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. I'll be watching the Knicks game instead of the baseball game.
Your thoughts on Derek Fisher, Jeff?
I haven't really got to see them do anything yet, so I don't really know. You know, I haven't seen any of the preseason games, really. I'll just have to wait and see. I'll get to see it right away in the beginning, you know, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I get 2 games right away with the Knicks on TV, don't I? They play the Bulls and then they play Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and both of those games are on TV, so I'll get to see right away. But it's going to be interesting to watch, to see how he coaches, because I have no idea how he coaches.
I need a NBA Finals prediction, Josh says. Well, we're going to get to that, but that's kind of for the NBA elimination pick. When we pick one team from the West and one team from the East, and Jeff and I have been doing this the last few years about who we think will go to the NBA Finals and win.
Yeah, I got a lot of my picks done already in my head. I know how I'm going and everything.
Well, you won it last year, Jeff. You picked San Antonio. I went with OKC, and look what happened.
That's right. You hear that, Skippy? And I didn't change my freaking mind halfway through the season like you do. I kept it the same way all year long. I don't change my mind. I'm not a flip-flopper. And I'm not a freaking homer, you rat bastard.
You could probably say, just wait until June when the Cavaliers
Yeah,
when
shut
my
up.
Cleveland Cavaliers win the NBA Finals.
Yeah. How come you didn't call them my Cleveland Cavaliers last year? Oh, because LeBron wasn't there. Oh, I see. You're just a bandwagon fan. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, that means nothing to me. You know that, Skippy. it means nothing to me because you're not truly a fan of them. You're just a fan of LeBron James. And you're really not a fan of any team because you call every team my. So you're really not a fan, and that's not a true broadcaster, and you're really not a true sports broadcaster. You're really not.
Well, he did even say it in the Skippy Bayless Bash Hour that we're talking about how he said there's nothing wrong with being a bandwagon fan.
See, he even admits it.
Yeah.
He even admits that he's a bandwagon fan. There is something wrong with a bandwagon fan. You know why? Because a bandwagon fan is not a true fan. That's why.
Yeah. It's the person who goes for the winners.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I'm with the Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, and Patriots, win or lose.
That's
you don't see
right.
me jumping ship.
Me never jump ship. You jump ship like you take a crap.
29 minutes after the hour, but NBA back tonight. You got Dallas playing San Antonio, and then after that you've got Houston playing LA, and that should be interesting because Byron Scott makes his coaching debut for the Lakers with Kobe Bryant.
Yes, he does, huh?
And I'm wondering how it's going to be, Jeff, with Byron Scott, what kind of a system he's going to run, and how much more does Kobe Bryant have left in him?
Well, I would figure these 2 years would be it for him.
Yeah.
I don't see him going any further than that. That's just too much, man. You know, he's done after this next 2 years, and that's that. And Steve Nash is done for the season, so he'll probably end up retiring.
Yeah, L.A. Lakers, in my opinion, they're going to be rebuilding again this year. And then there's another question that they had, a poll question. Will Michael Jordan ever win a title as an NBA owner? I don't think so.
I don't. Not if he keeps owning the Charlotte Hornets.
Second commercial break.
You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration.
Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central.
If you happen to live in the Central,
Jackass.
Please figure it out for yourself. If you can't, you can't live.
Jackass.
The next topic, the Skippy Bayless Bash Hour. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. Skippy Bayless said that despite the Cowboys losing, he still thinks at the end of the day the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl in February of next year.
Not if they lose to freaking Jacksonville.
He would probably disagree with you. Say, Mr. Eskow, I disagree with you.
I
They'll
don't
beat
care.
Jacksonville. They'll get on the winning track again. They only had one bad performance.
You said they'd beat Washington, too, and they couldn't do that. So how do you know they're going to beat Jacksonville? How do you know? How do you know? They just lost to Washington. How do you know? You don't. You don't even know if Tony's okay to play in the next game. You don't know. Stop making stupid statements that you got no idea of.
Well, he's got another statement. Skippy Bayless said that the Cowboys are still better than the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
You're a jackass. Jackass. That's what you are. That's a moronic statement. And I can't believe Stephen A. Smith let you get away with that.
17-0 Miami Dolphins to the 6-2
Yeah,
Cowboys.
exactly. Get out of here, Skippy. You stupid ignoramus. That's what you are, an ignoramus.
Skippy Bayless said that my Cleveland Cavaliers will take on the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Spurs will beat my Oklahoma City Thunder.
How many
Skippy
teams do
went
you
on to say
have?
That the Cavs will lose to the Spurs in 6 games.
How many freaking teams do you have? My team this, my team that, my team's going to lose here, my team's going to win. How many freaking basketball teams do you have?
He probably says enough to make me happy, and he probably is realizing, and he's probably saying, yeah, I can go for whatever I want. It's the NBA. I'm excited. It's opening night.
Okay, Skip, I want to play a word association game with you. Just say the first thing that comes into your mind when I say what I say. Just say whatever comes into your mind. You ready, Skip? Here we go. Black?
Out.
Blackout. Okay. Okay, you ready? Here's another one. Girl?
Friend.
Okay. Your favorite team is?
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay. Done. Now, Cleveland Cavaliers. Good. I'm glad you said that. Now, stop calling the San Antonio Spurs my. Stop calling all the other teams my. The only team you're allowed to say to my is the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got it? Because you just said your favorite team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Done.
Well, here's another thing. Skippy Bayless, NFL. He said that Jason Garrett is better than Don Shula.
Holy freaking Toledo. Are you really kidding me?
That's what he said. He said that Jason Garrett, the Cowboys coach, is better than Don Shula, who is coach of the Baltimore Colts and Miami Dolphins.
You're an idiot, Skip Bayless. You are just a freaking idiot with a remark like that. That's the most moronic statement I've heard you say today. Because every day you say something stupid and moronic.
He probably would debate you and say, how is that stupid? Look at what Garrett's doing. They're 6-2 and they're for real.
Oh my God, really? Has he won a Super Bowl yet?
No, he hasn't.
How many
Don
playoff
Shula
games has Jason Garrett won in his career?
None.
And how do you say he's better than Don Shula? You're a moron!
Skippy Bayless said that my Kansas City Royals will lose tonight.
You're an idiot.
He only went for them when they started winning, and that's
Correct.
You're right. That's the true definition of a bandwagon.
Correct. He only started calling them mine once they started winning.
Yeah.
He was nowhere to be found when they were in third place.
Or when they were having bad, miserable years.
He's nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, you're putting my in front of them? You're an asshole.
Frank, welcome, buddy. Oh, yeah, come up with something more original than moronic. That's what Josh was saying.
Hey, Frank, that's a really bad picture of you. You're not supposed to have that picture on there, are you?
Frank, where's the Patriots Spreaker profile picture? Get that up there. You lost the bet to me.
Frank is welching on his bet.
Come on there, Frank. We all agreed to a week. And I remember we have a video of that from NFL Real Talk. Skippy Bayless, how about this?
Welcher.
Said that he's the Muhammad Ali of sports broadcasting.
No, you're not. You know you're not. You know who you are? You're the Leon Spinks of broadcasting.
And then he would say, well, how come, Mr. Eskow, I know how to make my predictions true? That's what he would say.
You don't. Name one prediction that you mentioned that happened. You said that Dallas was going to beat Washington. Well, that didn't freaking happen, did it? You say that Tony Romo is better than Montana and Elway and all. That ain't happening, is it? So, no, I don't. But I'll tell you something, everything, my predictions, 98% of the crap that I say comes true. Not for you.
All right, here's another thing that Skippy Bayless said that Andy Dalton's overrated.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. Andy Dalton's got as many playoff wins as freaking Tony Romo. So shut the hell up.
Actually, he would say, I disagree with you, Mr. Escal. How come Tony Romo's only won one playoff game and Andy Dalton hasn't won any? Because the Bengals haven't won a playoff game since January of 1991.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many chances has the Dallas Cowboys blown to get into the playoffs because of Tony Romo?
Lots. They're only 2-7 in the last
Tony
9
Romo's
playoff games.
Tony Romo's been in the league longer than Andy Dalton.
Yep.
And Andy Dalton is better. He just doesn't get the publicity because he's in Cincinnati. If Andy Dalton was the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys last year and the year before, they would have made the playoffs. And you can't tell me otherwise.
Skippy Bayless said that Andrew Luck is a overrated quarterback.
One more playoff games than Tony Romo, and has been in the league for less years. So shut the hell up. That's all I got to say. Shut the hell up. Correct?
Skippy Bayless, NBA. How about this? Skippy Bayless said today that the Cleveland Cavaliers will be 73-9.
I don't believe that one bit.
And he would probably beg the differ. He'd say, how is that possible? Look at their team. Look at this coach, and look at LeBron coming back to Cleveland and the winning ways in Cleveland.
I don't care. You got a coach who's never, ever coached in the NBA. Never coached in the NBA before.
Mm-hmm.
Never played in the NBA. Don't know the referees. Don't know the other coaches. Has to learn the NBA system while he's going through what he's going through. Oh, well, he's got LeBron. I don't care. I don't give a two rat petunias. Okay? I don't. They're not going to win 50 games this year. Mark my words.
Even though there's a Vegas book that said that the Cavaliers are favored to win 58.4 games.
They're not going to win 50 games. Mark my words.
What's going to happen when they start losing? I'd like to see the Cavs go on a 10-game losing streak, and then you got Cleveland fans that are like, "Oh no, what's going on?"
That's what's going to happen. Mark my words. That's what's going to happen. They're going to go on a 10, 12-game losing streak, and all of a sudden, you're going to see Mr. Bandwagon fan jump ship.
Skippy Bayless said that Jerry Jones is better than the owner of the New England Patriots,
He's an idiot,
owner Bob Kraft.
Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Sure. You're an idiot. You really are.
Yeah, he
You
is
really
an
are.
idiot because Skippy, Patriots won 3 Super Bowls, 01, 03, and 04. Dallas hasn't won anything since 1995. So
I don't know what he's talking about.
Your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know what world Skip Bayless lives in, but he doesn't live in the true world.
He lives in
his
the past.
He lives in Skippy world, and that's not the world I live in. I'll tell you that.
Skippy Bayless said that LeBron is a top 50 player.
I would agree with that.
Uh-oh. Skippy Bayless said that the early 1970s New York Knicks are the most overrated era of the NBA.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. They're the ones who helped. The 1969-73 Knicks helped the NBA. Helped the NBA get better because they were crap back in those days. Do your freaking research, you moron.
Winning 2 NBA championships.
Do your
70
research,
and
you
73.
moron. Do your research.
And maybe you should watch the 30 for 30 documentary, you dumb idiot.
The NBA actually started, the Knicks actually started paying players. Because, hey, Schmuckola, back in the 50s and the 60s, when the NBA players in the offseason, They had to go get a real job. Some of them were car salesmen, some of them were insurance salesmen, some of them did this, some of them... But they all had real jobs in the offseason. You know why? Because the NBA didn't pay them freaking crap. That's why. So you want to especially thank Dollar Bill Bradley for starting the whole thing. Because he got paid. He was the highest paid NBA player, and he didn't play for 2 years for the Knicks because he went on a sabbatical. And then when he came back, he was the highest paid player in the NBA. So don't start with none of your crap. Learn your freaking history, you jackass, before you start mouthing off to something you got no clue what you're talking about.
Skippy Bayless said that Thursday night football will be the premier sports broadcast.
Wrong again. Wrong again.
Players are getting hurt and getting injured, and teams have to play and practice so quick and short to play on a Thursday night.
Skippy Bayless, do you think it's right for a player to play on Sunday and then go again and play on Thursday in the NFL? Do you think that's looking out for their health? Your true, honest answer, Skip. Do you think that's looking out for their health? Because if you think so, you're just of a moron as the commissioner is.
I'll get to another one before we go to update. Skippy Bayless said that Jerry Jones is better than all of the owners in every sport.
Oh, God. You know, hey, why don't you just get on your knees and start blowing them now? You got your nose so far buried up Jerry Jones's ass, you can't even find your way out no more, can you?
He's a Jerry Jones ass kisser, if you ask me.
You got your nose so far up Jerry Jones's ass, you can't even find the way out anymore. Unstinking believable you are, dude. You make the most moronic statements I've ever heard in my life. And on that note, we're going to run to our first update of the day. This update is brought to you by ShirtShopper.net. Head on over to ShirtShopper.net and get your t-shirts today. They got some killer t-shirts. All your sports teams are over there. Head on over to ShirtShopper.net today and get your t-shirt today from ShirtShopper.net. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, to the first of two updates. 46 minutes after the hour, 28th of October, 2014, Tuesday. National Hockey League. Tonight's games, the Minnesota Wild at the Boston Bruins. That game can be seen on the NBC Sports Network. The Ottawa Senators at the Columbus Blue Jackets. New Jersey Devils at Pittsburgh Penguins. Winnipeg Jets at the New York Islanders. Los Angeles Kings at Philadelphia Flyers. Buffalo Sabres at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Phoenix Coyotes at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Anaheim Mighty Ducks at the Chicago Blackhawks. St. Louis Blues at the Dallas Stars. Montreal Canadiens against the Calgary Flames. San Jose Sharks
What are you, going
at
to
the
school?
Colorado...
Calgary. What are you, going to school?
San Jose Sharks at the Colorado Avalanche. And lastly, for NHL hockey, it is the Carolina Hurricanes at the Vancouver Canucks. In the NBA, the season begins tonight. Here are the games, three of them. The Orlando Magic taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. First game on TNT, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific. It will be the Dallas Mavericks taking on the San Antonio Spurs as the Spurs raise their banner up to the rafters. And lastly, the Houston Rockets at the Los Angeles Lakers, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That game is on TNT. The NBA resumes tomorrow with a bunch of games scheduled. In Monday Night Football, the week is up. Number 8, exact. The Dallas Cowboys had a chance to have a big lead in the NFC East. That didn't happen. The Washington Redskins decided to say, you know what? We may be in last place, but let's just play some spoiler and beat the Dallas Cowboys, which they did, 20-17. That finishes week number 8. Week number 9 of the NFL starts on Thursday night. And by the way, it's not on CBS. It will only be on the NFL Network. In Major League Baseball, tonight is Game 6 of the World Series. It will be the San Francisco Giants at the Kansas City Royals. Here's the situation. Giants win. They will be crowned the World Series champions for 2014. Royals prevail. Game 7 would be tomorrow night at Kauffman Stadium. So do or die for the Royals. That's the update for Sports World Radio. This update was brought to you by ShirtShopper.net. When we come back from the update, more sports talk. And in the top of the hour, Frank Sprankle. Be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday on SportsWorldRadio.com. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out for yourself.
Now, if you're listening to us after we've done the show live, please do us a favor. There's a little heart button down there, okay? Click that heart and like us. Send us some love. Every time you listen to the show, just click the heart and like us. Give us some love. And the reason why I'm asking, and I'm going to say this on the air, Spreaker has invited Sports World Radio to get involved with some advertising.
Oh.
So, yeah, Spreaker's come to me and asked me if I would like to do some advertising on our show, and Spreaker's going to pay us to do it. So I said, yeah. So show us some love and like that heart, because we're getting some love from Spreaker.com. How about that, Sean?
That's cool, because
cool.
we put on good shows and we know how to tell it like it is.
They have a couple of sports advertisers that want to advertise on Spreaker, and they want to give it to a couple of shows, sports shows, and they picked our sports show. How about that? They picked this show. Out of all the sports shows, they picked this show and I think another one. They picked this show. How about that? That's pretty awesome, ain't it?
It is.
I think so. So show us some love, and Spreaker, we're down with you, baby. Let's go. We're down with you. Next topic, my friend.
All right, back to the Skippy Bayless
look at
Bash
this,
Hour.
dude.
He said today that LeBron makes Michael Jordan look like a college basketball player.
You know what? I make you look like a dumbass, so what's the difference? You like that? I make you look like a dumbass, Skip, so what's the difference?
He probably would say this. He would say, look what he's done. LeBron's taken over the NBA. It's becoming LeBron's league. Jordan's not an NBA basketball player anymore. So what's your point?
How many championships has LeBron won?
He's only won 2.
How many championships has Michael won?
Michael Jordan's won 6.
Shut up. Shut up. Done. Be quiet. Done. That's it. I just proved my point to you. Shut up.
I know Jeff just wants to go into ESPN studios,
So bad.
debate Skip Bayless
So bad.
and teach this guy what it's like to be a sports
So
journalist.
bad. I am so tempted. So tempted to have our producer, Josh Lopez, the producer of Sports World Radio, just send me everything he says for the week, this week. And on Friday night or Saturday night after our show, just do a video of me just going to town on everything he says. And just ripping him a new one and putting it on YouTube and watch it go viral. Because I think that will force him to get me.
Skippy Bayless said that the NBA and women's sports are boring.
Jeff Escal says Skippy Bayless is boring. You're boring, Skip.
He would say,
you're
how am I
predictable.
boring when I know how to make my predictions
You're
come
predictable. Because I can predict what you're going to say before you say it. You're predictable. How is it so? How is it that I have an answer for every comment you make, and I don't read the comment, I don't hear the comment, I don't see the comment until Sean says the comment live on the air? And how come I'm able to come back with something lickety-split like that, where you, sir, have to prep for 12 hours to do a 2-hour show? What the hell's the matter with you? Huh?
Exactly.
That's why this show is the way it is. I got no idea what we're talking about, and I am that good. Let me see you do that. You can't.
Skippy Bayless said that the Miami Heat are better than the Chicago Bulls, Josh and Frank.
What planet did this guy live on? What planet is Skip Bayless from? Because obviously he's not from Earth. Does everybody check to see if he's an alien?
I don't know where he's living, or maybe he has the wrong kind of coffee or something to wake him up in the mornings. I don't know.
We need to get him on the show. We need to have a debate, or I need to get Skip Bayless in a Google Hangout so I can just bash him for an hour.
And then he'll just launch a protest, and like I've always said, he'll launch a protest, and he'll say, well, he'll go on ESPN and say, I don't know who this guy is,
I want
but
everybody.
This Jeff Escow guy debates me and thinks that he knows more. I said, we could launch a protest to boot Sports World Radio off the internet.
I want everybody to go on Twitter, to go to Skip Bayless, the real Skip Bayless, or whatever it is, at real Skip, or whatever he is on Twitter. Find him on Twitter and type and send him a tweet telling him that he needs to go on Sports World Radio or needs to have a debate with the host of Sports World Radio, because he's just ripping everything you say and making you sound like a real moron.
How about this? Skippy Bayless said that David Blatt will be the Bill Walsh of the NBA.
Show me your evidence.
Exactly.
Show me your stats that will prove that. Or
He'll
is
probably
that you
say,
just guessing?
look at what the Cavs have. Look at their team. They're going to be good this year.
I don't care. Has he ever coached in the NBA before? Has he ever played in the NBA? I don't care. I don't care who's on his team. I don't care.
What's going to happen, Skippy, in a couple months when the Cavaliers are really, really bad? You'll be very quiet, then you'll go right to another team. That's
And
what
I'm
he'll
sure,
do. He'll switch.
I'm sure he has said that the Cavs are going to win their division, correct?
Yeah.
How fun is it going to be when Chicago wins that division? And I can tell him I said so way before the season started.
I just can't wait till the Cavaliers and the Bulls play against each other. Wow.
Look at Josh. Josh goes, "You're welcome for the Skippy quotes. By the way, because I'm about to throw my remote at the TV when I hear that crap." I don't blame you, dude. That's why I don't get up to listen to him, because I got you two guys telling me what it says.
And him making just excuses.
Moronic
it's like
statements. Moronic statements. See, if I was Stephen A. Smith last night, and for the show today, I would have just turned around to him and I would have asked him one question. What happened, Skip? What happened, Skip?
Then he'll come up with an excuse or a reason.
And then I'll say, well, that's one excuse. Well, you got any more? Because all you're throwing out are excuses. What happened, Skip? They lost. That's the only thing you can say, Skip. So just sit there and be quiet and shut up. Because everything you said before the loss don't mean crap right now.
And I know for a fact that Jeff has an example about excuses. Excuses are like assholes. Everyone's got one.
And Skip's got two of them. One in the front of his face and one in the back of his ass. He talks
Jeff
out of
went
one.
on there and ESPN went to commercial. They'd say, "Mr. Eskow, we can't tolerate that language and stuff. You got to be respectful. This is ESPN, not bash."
He talks out of one and craps out of the other.
He talks out of the other.
He talks out of one and craps out of the other. That's right, Skippy. I'm talking about you, jackass. You don't like it? Prove me wrong. Because you know what? You can't. That's right, you can't. Because I am right and you are wrong, and that's the name of that tune. We're going to run to our top of the hour break. We're going to bring the big win, Frank Sprankle, in and bust his chops a little bit. You're listening to Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
Be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, and now the second hour of Tuesday's show, because he's here every Tuesday and Thursday. The big wind himself, who's got an ugly Patriots picture on his Skype.
Oh, it's beautiful. I like it.
Frank Sprankle.
I love it, man. I got to tell you, I hate. It's a great logo, terrific logo, but the bet. I'm never betting Sean again.
In the Bruins Blackhawks, that's
I'm
coming
never
up
betting
in
Sean
December.
Wait a minute, hold on. But shouldn't we be betting on the Bears Patriots? Because that's once every 4 years.
What about hockey? They played twice.
Yes, but we'll figure that out once we get to that point.
I'm never
But
betting with Sean
let me ask
again.
you, I turned you
love
guys
that.
on a little after 5:30 in the time zone that you tell everybody to figure out by themselves. And I continue to hear Skip Bayless bashing. Oh, my goodness. You guys can't go.
Because he says something
You can't go a
stupid.
full hour without bashing Skip Bayless.
Because he says something stupid every freaking day of his life, and I just want to iterate it to the people that it's stupid.
Okay, Jeff, let me ask you this. Friday's Halloween, right?
Yes.
Friday
Okay,
is.
Are you handing out trick-or-treat candy?
My sister bought candy today, yes.
Okay, what happens if somebody goes to your place of residence wearing a Skip Bayless costume?
Okay, number one, I'll be in the studio, so I won't hear the doorbell ring or knock, so I won't be handing out the candy. Number two, if I happen to be in the house getting some iced tea or going to the bathroom and the doorbell rings, and I answer the doorbell, and somebody's got a Skip Bayless costume, I'm kicking them off my front porch.
Wait, how are you going to do it? All right, how are you going to do it? Are you going to get the old broom, or are you going to...
No, I haven't.
You got to scare you. It's Halloween. You know what? You don't have to treat them. You can trick them.
I will trick them. I have a bat behind my door. I'll grab that son of a bitch and chase that little rat bastard around.
Okay, but you're going to have to explain why.
I don't have to explain crap to the little punk. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, so listen. If you don't want Jeff Escow to be giving you... If you want Jeff Escow to be giving you trick-or-treat candy on Halloween this Friday, do not wear a Skip Bayless mask.
No, you know what the beauty is about my place? Is our lights are on a sensor. So if nobody actually walks up to the door, the light doesn't come on. So people see the dark house, they won't come to the front. We hardly ever get any trick-or-treaters, which is beautiful. I end up eating all the candy anyway.
Okay. But hold on.
All right, we got sports to get to, Frank. The topic I'd like to discuss with you. Everybody knows what's at stake tonight for the World Series starting in an hour. Can the Kansas City Royals win Game 6? Frank,
Yes.
What do you think?
I think they have the opportunity, a good opportunity to win Game 6. They are at home. Of course, this is a team that has played well with their backs against the wall. I'm not saying it's going to be a definite win for the Royals tonight. Clearly, the Giants, they do have momentum. They are up. The champagne is on ice in their clubhouse with the World Series championship T-shirts and hats. It's going to be a great game tonight. Looking forward to it. At least they don't have to face Madison Bumgarner again. That's a great theme to all of this. Now, here's something else too, gentlemen. Should this series do go 7 by virtue of a Royals win tonight, then don't be surprised if you see Bumgarner come out of the bullpen. You won't see Bumgarner start tomorrow night if indeed a Game 7 is a necessity, but Bumgarner would come out of the bullpen. But I do think the Royals have an excellent opportunity to win this game. They play at home. They play very well. It's going to be interesting to see. We got less than an hour. Let's go.
Let me ask you a question, Frank.
You can ask me any question you want.
Does Ned Yost make the Herb Brooks speech tonight's game or tomorrow's game?
I think you have to make it tonight.
You have to make the Herb Brooks speech. What you have here today, boys, is a great opportunity.
Yes.
You have
a
make
great
that...
opportunity. And they're not in a hole. Let's understand this. They're only down 1 game here. They're down 3 games to 2.
Have you
seen?
It's
not as if they're down 3 games to none or 3 games to 1 here.
Have you seen that movie?
Talk about Miracle?
Yes.
Oh, I love the movie. And let me tell you what. Kurt Russell, they got the character of Herb Brooks right.
Perfect. Dead on.
Perfect. Because you know what? It was a dead ringer.
Dead
Again, but you know what my favorite part of the movie is? And, of course, everything about the movie is true. Again.
Yeah, I know. They played it on the other day. I watched it again. I've seen that movie. I went to – here, you want to hear something really funny? We're talking sports. That movie, Miracle, right, when it first came out, I was a courier. I was driving around, working, having my own business. It was great. And sports radio, I listened to sports talk all day, right? So my friends at the sports talk radio station were giving away tickets to go see the movie when it first came out.
It was in 2004.
Correct, 2004 when that movie first came. They were giving away 2 tickets, and they were having a big party at the theater with the station and all that, and a lot of the hosts were gonna be there and all that. Me and my sister won tickets, and not only that, they gave everybody there the DVD movie. Also.
Wow, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you,
and I got to
because
hang
you
out with
lived
all the guys,
through-
and that's how I met all the guys.
You lived through it in 1980.
Oh, yeah,
What
I
do
was
you
there.
remember? What do you remember about it from a personal standpoint?
I remember the whole thing.
Where were you watching it?
I was in New York watching it. I was back east at home watching it. It was kind of weird. I was locked up in I wasn't too far from Lake Placid. I was about an hour, about 45 minutes to an hour out of Lake Placid. I was up in the mountains with my buddies. We were on vacation. And my other buddy father owned a ski lodge up there. So we went up there and we were in the master cabin and we got snowed in.
Whoa.
And we couldn't go nowhere, so that's where we ended up watching the hockey game.
Well, the Royals are going to need all that miracle tonight to make that happen, and hopefully they're watching the movie Miracle, because then they can look at that and say,
"Well,
their time is over. Let's win."
I don't think this team really needs that speech either tonight or tomorrow.
Well, if
I
I'm
mean, if
Ned
they want to go
Yost-
to a seventh game, of course.
Well, if I'm Ned Yost, I put that part of the movie on where he walks into the locker room and makes that speech. That's it. That's you put on.
Well, if this game goes into the late innings with it tied up, let's say, with what we have seen from the Royals bats, I do have faith the Royals can win this game. If it goes into the late innings with the Royals and Giants tied up. I'm talking about if it goes into the 8th and 9th tied up.
Well, you got to remember this too, Frank. Jake Peavy is going for the Giants tonight. He looked awful in his last start in Game 2. I give the edge to the Royals. Ventura is a great pitcher for Kansas City.
Had a pretty
City
decent
wins-
game in Game 2.
Yeah, and Kansas City has got some good history with being down 3-2. Their only World Series, which was in 1985, they were trailing the Cardinals 3-2. And, of course, Jeff and Frank and you and I have heard this very well about the Don Dankinger incident and stuff, which gave the Royals that World Series. But it's been good for them. They came back and won Game 6, and they pounded the Cardinals in 85, 11-0. So the Royals know fully well they've got some good history with that. And the Giants have had actually bad history even after they've lost Game 2. They've lost all of their World Series when a series was tied at 1 after they lost Game 2. Can they win tonight? It depends if their bats can get going.
I think so, too. And Ventura's got to have a great game. He's got to have a better outing than what he did in Game 2. It was decent, but he has got to pitch pretty much lights out here for this to happen. The bats have got to get going. There's no question about it. We have seen such great defense, even in defeat, from these Kansas City Royals, especially the outfielders. I mean, you got these outfielders here, especially Lorenzo Cain, that these guys are looking like they're gold glovers out there.
Right.
That has been a huge difference. And, of course, you mentioned 1985. One thing that that's interesting to note here is how many of the guys on the active Royals roster were actually alive during the 1985 series?
Not many.
Not many.
Not
As a
many.
matter of fact, I think only 3 to 5 of them were actually born
Yeah, not many. Of them.
after or were born or were alive during the 1985 World Series, and they were little. They were little kids at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were watching Sesame Street.
Or maybe, here's another idea. Okay, they could have Ned Yost giving a big motivational speech. Maybe the great George Brett. You've seen him throughout all of the playoffs watching the Royals win the games and getting there. Maybe George Brett comes in there and says, hey, you know what? I've been on playoff teams before with this team. You guys can do it. Their time is over. Go out and smoke them.
Why doesn't somebody such as Moustakis give the speech? Somebody such as Moustakis give the speech.
Because he doesn't have the experience.
I think right now you've earned the experience. Going through this run of the one-game playoff, divisional playoff, a tough divisional playoff it was, the league championship
first time
series.
in the playoffs. Still his first time in the World Series.
All right, so you don't think that a Moustakis or a Hosmer are quite ready for that speech yet?
I think it's got to come from Yost or Brett.
All right. Well, do you know what? Then I agree with Sean. I think George would be the perfect individual to give that speech because he has ties to the Royals. He knows what it's like. Now, Yost doesn't know what it was like to be on the 1985 Royals. George Brett does.
Or Brett goes and talks to them individually. You know?
I think you should talk. I think they should just close the clubhouse door at Kauffman Stadium and George Brett give the speech.
They might do that. You never know. You never know. They might do that.
But this is going to be a great game tonight.
Yeah, I would like to see Kansas City win. I want to see him win this thing. So in order for that to happen, they got to win tonight.
And another thing, too, to understand that if the Giants do win tonight, or if it is a Game 7 tomorrow, you're looking at the dynasty of this decade.
What, 3 times in 5 years? I don't know.
At this point, it's a strong argument for the dynasty of this decade, at least in Major League Baseball.
And Bruce Bochy has done a great job with managing that team, winning in 2010. That finally ended 56 years for the Giants of misery when they beat Texas. You remember that very well, Frank. And then in 2012, they swept the Detroit Tigers. So
go ahead, because I was going to say
they got the experience.
Well, it's also, remember, too, all those years with the San Diego Padres playoff appearances. 1998, Bruce Bochy took the Padres to the World Series. Of course, that was not the best of all experiences. You ran into a hot New York Yankees team in 1998 and were swept away. But Bruce Bochy, this is a guy that has turned ball clubs around, turned the Padres around, turned the Giants around. They may win this series, they may lose this series, but regardless of what happens, Bruce Bochy, there's been talk, is he a Hall of Famer or not? Look, they don't even need to win this series. Bruce Bochy will be a Hall of Fame manager one of these years, guaranteed.
I think
Sure he will. And, you know, here's what I saw, too, today, Jeff and Frank. A poll said the Royals are heavy favorites to win tonight and tomorrow. So they're saying 56% say Royals in 7 games.
That don't mean shit. That don't mean nothing. It's just people giving their opinion. That don't mean crap.
Well, if the Royals do win tonight, they clearly have everything on their side. I do believe if the Royals can pull it out tonight, maybe for the Giants, we should be saying that this is their Game 7.
Pretty much it is, because, you know, look at what's happened the last time a Game 6 was played and a team lost in heartbreak. 2011 Fall Classic. Texas Rangers had the series won. They had the Cardinals down to the last strike, and they didn't get it done, and they blew that game. And I was so angry because I wanted to see Texas win that World Series and make Nolan Ryan a happy man. But then they lost Game 6 in heartbreak, and I thought, I think the Rangers are going to lose Game 7. And that's what happened. So that's the last time there was a 7-game series for the Fall Classic was 2011.
There you go. All right, we're going to run to a quick break. You're listening to Jeff Escott, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle on
Sports World Radio.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Be fire safe during the holidays. Only use decorations that are non-flammable or flame retardant. Check holiday lights each year for frayed wires or excessive wear. And do not link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. Consider using battery-operated flameless candles which look and smell like real candles. If your celebration includes a natural tree, keep it away from any heat source or exit. Water your tree daily to keep it from becoming dry. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov. This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to the Best Scout Show. I'm bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Frank Sprankle joining us like he does each and every Tuesday and Thursday in the second hour of the show. Sean, what do you got?
All right, the next topic we get to as we were on commercial break, we talked about it too, Frank. Tonight is opening night of the NBA season, and you sent me something that was really amazing, and that was LeBron James saying that he fears the Chicago Bulls.
Good.
Wow.
Well, okay, pretty much. All right, here's what the article says. This is according to CBSSports.com, and you don't need to read CBSSports.com. LeBron James said it crystal clear. LeBron James was quoted as saying that the Bulls are much better right now than Cavs, end quote. Enough.
What do you think of that, Jeff?
What do you think of that, Skippy?
Jeff replies and goes right to Skippy. You know what? That's going to be the thing to watch this year in the NBA.
Watch
all eyes.
Friday night, Sean.
Yeah, I know, Friday night, but all eyes going to be on what the Bulls do, the Cavs do, and I've been saying it ever since the season begins tonight, and that is in May or in June, you're going to see the Eastern Conference Finals between the Bulls and the Cavaliers. And that's why LeBron, I'm glad he kind of speaks out and says, you know, it's true. The Bulls are a better team than us.
Okay, but do you think maybe LeBron is also using it as a rallying cry for his new Cleveland teammates?
I think so.
I think he's saying that. And I think he's saying that knowingly that the Bulls are an established team, but he's also trying to light a fuse saying, look, this Bulls team, they have the core already in place. They've had it the last few years. Derrick Rose is back. They got a great coach in Tom Thibodeau. He's already won Coach of the Year his first year a few years back. He is trying to also light a fuse under his team that, you know what? We have potential here, but this is the team to beat right now in our conference.
Well, here's another thing, Jeff and Frank, what David Blatt came out and said. He goes, quote, we have a lot of work to do. And according to the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook, Cleveland has 5-2 odds to win it all, followed by the San Antonio Spurs 3-1, Oklahoma City Thunder 9-2, the Chicago Bulls 6-1 favorites, and the LA Clippers 8-1, rounding out the top five for these teams to make.
Wait, who has the best odds, Sean? Who has the best odds?
The Cavs.
The Cavs. All right, I do disagree.
Cavs were also the most. Well, here's what they said: the Cavs were also the most popular pick to win it all by a panel of 28 contributors on ESPN.com. What's your take on that, Jeff?
Go ahead, Jeff. I think they're going overboard, Jeff. I'll be honest. Once LeBron James signed with Cleveland, it was like Miami 4 years ago. Oh, Miami, they're going to win the NBA title in 2011.
I think they're going way overboard. You don't know what these guys are going to do. You don't know how they're going to play together. You don't know anything. You're just
we didn't know they were going to play with the big three.
You're just taking a freaking guess, and I like to see your guesses wrong.
So that's why, and I heard you guys, I don't know who mentioned about Cleveland. I think it was you, Sean, that mentioned what you'd like to see, Cleveland go on a 10-game losing skid.
Yes.
That'd be
I
funny
doubt
if
that
that
will
happened.
happen. I doubt that will happen. This is a team that may go on a 3 to 4 game losing skid at some point in the season. I doubt they'll go on a 10-game losing skid.
Come on, you got to make me happy somehow.
Okay. How to make me happy?
Yeah, I want to see them go on a 10-game, 10, 12, maybe even a 14-game losing streak.
14-game losing streak, dude. That's all you will hear in sports media.
I
You
know,
will
it'd be
hear about
great.
that on. Hey, then you know what? What's Skip Bayless gonna? What's gonna come out of Skip Bayless's mouth then if that does happen?
He'll switch.
He'll switch. He'll go to another team.
He won't go to Chicago. Well,
He'll jump off the bandwagon and he'll go back to his San Antonio Spurs. That's exactly what he'll do. Because that's exactly what he does.
he'll remember the Alamo.
Hey, in the dictionary, in the Webster's Dictionary,
under
the word bandwagon fan, they should have Skip Bayless's picture. Because he's the true meaning of a bandwagon fan.
And the Cavs know very well, Frank, that if they were to match up against the San Antonio Spurs, they've got history with James and the Cavs. As you all remember, the Spurs swept Cleveland in the 2007 NBA Finals, and they beat James last June when he was with Miami. So the Spurs know about LeBron James very well and have had their ways with them twice.
They're an older team, but yes, I do think the Spurs, if let's say it were a matchup of the NBA Finals, LeBron once again, only this time LeBron and the Cavaliers against the San Antonio Spurs, if I could look into a crystal ball and see that as the potential NBA Finals matchup, I'd have to go with San Antonio because they worked as a unit. And they got and look at their coach. How long has Greg Popovich been coaching in the NBA, specifically the San Antonio Spurs here?
Since 97. That's
96, 97, yeah, around then.
Yeah, that was when he took over for Bob Hill. Bob Hill got fired. He came in and he turned that San Antonio team around.
He's the longest tenured head coach in the NBA.
And David Blatt has never even been an assistant at the NBA level.
Never even played in the NBA level.
And he's never even coached.
Or scouted.
Correct.
So if I were the Vegas odds and people saying, oh, the Cavs are going to be heavy favorites, just wait and see what happens, because who knows what David Blatt's going to bring as NBA head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I think these are people that are on the bandwagon like Skip Bayless themselves. Oh, LeBron, he's back in Cleveland. Oh, my goodness. Cleveland's going to win the NBA title. Well, guess what? Didn't we learn something from 2010, 2011?
They don't remember. They have short-term memory loss. That's the problem with these freaking
Dude, and also, hold on. Wasn't the talent more deeper with Miami 4 years ago than it was with the Cavaliers now?
Yes.
There you go, my friend. There you go.
I get it. I understand, but nobody seems to see that but us.
Look, they'll be a playoff team. That I'm convinced of. Then the question is, where will they even be seated in the playoff picture? I mean, that's what we really should guess, because I honestly think the Bulls are going to be number one in the Eastern Conference playoff picture when it's all said and done.
Too.
Where is Cleveland? I mean, can Cleveland even be number two?
No. I think they're going to be. I think they'll be somewhere like 5, 6, or 7.
All right, then that's not home court in the first round.
That's right.
In fact, they may not even get home court, period.
That's right.
I mean, if it's going to be, all right, if LeBron says, well, the Bulls are much better, and it's the Eastern Conference Finals matchup, Bulls and the Cavaliers potentially, then guess what? Cleveland, sometime in May, will have to come to Chicago and open up the Eastern Conference Finals.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Just get ready for an interesting NBA season and get ready to see where both Chicago and Cleveland are both going to be, Frank, when before the NBA playoffs begin, because everybody's going to be watching them. And I know that when the Bulls play the Cavs on Friday, even though it's Halloween, we got a long NBA season to go.
Yes, we
Everybody knows it's going to be a playoff caliber atmosphere.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, I checked the ticket brokers. Do you know what they're charging? About $120.
I believe
way more. That's $120 a ticket for the game on Friday in the United Center between the Cavaliers and the Bulls. And Bulls tickets, they can be pretty affordable. They can be maybe $50, $60 a game. Cheap, not bad. But this is $120 for the cheapest seat in the United Center.
Now, for the Bulls, they will open up tomorrow against the New York Knicks. Frank, what's your thoughts on tomorrow night's opener for Chicago at New York? I know Jeff's fired up for it, and he's ready for it since he's the big Knicks fan.
I'm looking forward to it, obviously, with Carmelo Anthony being back in the picture, Derek Fisher, the head coach of the New York Knicks. People are going to see what he's going to be able to do. Phil Jackson, likewise, a lot of anticipation that can he turn around what has been a disappointment with the New York Knicks over the last few years. Because let me ask Jeff this question, too. You're a New York Knicks fan, but knowing the New York Knicks fans as well as you do, how thin has the patience thin? I mean, is the patience really run thin that this New York Knicks team hasn't been a title contender since really the mid 1990s?
Yeah, well, they're hoping
1999.
that Phil could change that attitude out there in New York and get them back.
Right,
in the winning ways.
1999, the NBA Finals.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while for them. I don't think they're going to, this year or next year, but maybe, in a couple of years they'll be there. It's not going to happen overnight. You know that as well as I do, and so do the Knicks fans.
Then you think Fisher's a good choice for head coach?
Well, who else was he going to pick?
Well, he wanted Steve Kerr, but that didn't happen.
Okay, once he lost Steve Kerr, who else has he got?
I'm asking you, do you think Fisher was a good choice?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what he's going to do. Or
I think it may have been a good choice because this guy has many years of NBA. This guy played in the NBA. Do you really need to have any coaching experience if you had X number of years play? I mean, look at Jason Kidd, who coached in Brooklyn, now is with the Milwaukee Bucks.
No, I don't have no doubt that he can coach, but I don't know his style of coaching or anything like that, and I'm sure he doesn't either because...
I'm sure he'll get help from Phil.
Well, not only that, Phil surrounded him with some great assistant coaches.
They went out, of course, as you pointed out, they got the Zen Master and Phil Jackson as president, and there's a lot of people... There's like high expectations now for the Knicks, if you look at them, because Jackson can come in there and he can see what areas the Knicks need to work on. And I think, in my opinion, Derek Fisher is going to do the same offense as Jackson, run the triangle offense, which was very effective in Chicago and in Los Angeles.
Well, I think that's a big reason why he brought in Derek Fisher.
Yeah, because
Derek
this
Fisher
was a big
This is his first
big
coaching
decision.
job. This is his first coaching job.
This was a big thing, and Jackson's going to be sitting watching every Knicks game at MSG to make sure that the Knicks will be fine. And, of course, remember in the offseason they had the big decision, Jeff and Frank, to get Carmelo Anthony back because Carmelo was looking at maybe hamstring from New York and looking at another destination, which would have been Chicago or maybe the LA Lakers.
Maybe, but it didn't work out like that, did it?
No, and I think Carmelo wanted to stay in New York because it's really his home because he went to the University of Syracuse.
And I think, too, Carmelo wants to make an impact with one team. He knows that if he goes to Chicago, that he would have to compete with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah. It's still Kobe's team in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And by the way, do you think that the Lakers should be opening up the season tonight?
Yeah, why not?
I do think so.
They do it every year,
I
don't
would
they?
think they're not one of the marquee teams in the NBA anymore.
But they do it every year, don't they?
They always open up on TNT, Frank, before we go to the second update. They always play on TNT, usually Houston or maybe the Clippers. That's how they open up the season.
Yeah, they always open up the season. I've noticed that the last several years. Let's run to our final update of the day. This update is brought to you by Keurig.com. Looking for some coffee? You need some tea? You need a new coffee machine? Head on over to KeurigCoffeemachines.com. Brewing perfection, one cup at a time. That's KeurigCoffeemachines.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the final update of the day.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, everybody. 31 minutes after the hour on the 28th of October, 2014, Tuesday. Monday Night Football last night. The Washington Redskins prevailed 20-17 against the Dallas Cowboys. And that was kind of a spoiler because the Cowboys are now up one game over Philadelphia in the NFC East. The Redskins have won two straight after they had been 1-5. So now they've moved to 3-5 overall, but they have a lot of work to do to catch up with the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Giants. In Major League Baseball, starting in 28 minutes, tonight is Game 6 of the World Series. Royals win Game 6. Game 7 would be tomorrow, but they have to get past Game 6 first before a seventh game would be determined for the World Series championship for 2014. San Francisco Giants, that's all they need, one of the two games to get the job done and finish up the 2014 Major League Baseball season. This game can be seen on Fox, 8:07 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time in Kansas City, Missouri. In the NBA, here's what we got for tonight's games, 3 of them as the NBA season begins. On TNT, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks at the San Antonio Spurs. That game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Second game on TNT, following the Mavericks and the Spurs, it'll be the Houston Rockets taking on the Los Angeles Lakers as Byron Scott begins his NBA head coaching debut for the LA Lakers. The other game, you got the Orlando Magic taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. In the National Hockey League, here are the games that we have going right now. The Minnesota Wild, they lead the Boston Bruins by a score of 1-0. 7 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the first period. That game can be seen on the NBC Sports Network. The Ottawa Senators and the Columbus Blue Jackets are tied up at 1 apiece in the first period. The same goes between the New Jersey Devils and the Pittsburgh Penguins, tied at 1. The New York Islanders, who have played some really good hockey of late, 6-2 overall, they lead the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 1-0. The Philadelphia Flyers, they lead 1-0 against the Los Angeles Kings. Other games that we have in the National Hockey League that are not starting and not having the puck drop, you got the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Phoenix Coyotes at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Anaheim Mighty Ducks at the Chicago Blackhawks. St. Louis Blues at the Dallas Stars. Montreal Canadiens taking on the Flames. San Jose Sharks at the Colorado Avalanche. And Carolina Hurricanes at the Vancouver Canucks. That's the final update for Sports World Radio on this 28th of October. Update was brought to you by Keurig, coffeemachines.com. When we come back from the commercial break, more sports talk with Jeff Escal, Frank Sprankle, and me, Sean Mann. Back after the commercial.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Have you ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Sean Mann bringing you the 2 fastest hours of sports talk on the internet each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Okay, Sean, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because Gary's already gloating about how
here.
great his Redskins won, and hail to the Redskins, bitches.
Hey, Gary,
That was a great game last night.
Hey, Gary, thank you very much for the win, but your team is still in last place here at Bastard.
Yeah, look at the Cowboys record.
6-2 over 3-5. And
sit there and be
quiet.
quiet.
He says, listen to me when I tell you shit, people, because I know perfectly well
you
that
don't
the
know what you're
Redskins are
talking
coming
about.
back.
Hey, so let me ask Gary this: when's RG3 going to come back? I know there's a game next week against the Vikings. There is the bye week. If you had to take a guess about RG3, my guess is he'll probably come back after the bye week.
Yeah,
I don't think the Redskins are going to want to rush him. I think they're going to want some time for that injury to heal. I'll say after the bye week.
Hey, Gary, look, they win and you show up, okay? They've lost the last couple of weeks. Where the hell you been? Get the hell out of here. You don't belong here, you bandwagon fan.
Wait.
He quoted. He says, "Hey, I got 9 points this week."
Get the hell out of here. You know something? You only show up when your team wins. Get the hell out of here.
Hey, you know what? I got a good idea. Sean, you want to tell Gary about our little bet we had going?
Gary, yeah, I beat Josh and Frank in the Patriots-Bears bet, and of course Gary
care.
knows all about that because Josh put a cover photo with Patriots on it.
And I used the Minuteman logo, which, by the way, I guess if I'm going to lose this bet, it's a classic logo. I like the logo. I'm going to use the Minuteman logo.
He don't care.
Well, here's what Gary says to Jeff. Fuck you, I'm getting better. Fuck you, Baldy. I give my abuse on Facebook.
He doesn't care.
And now he shows up because he's all happy, Frank, because the Redskins win a game in overtime.
I guess
you don't see him show up when they lose.
No, okay, let me ask you, Gary, do you need some sort of antidepressants if the Redskins lose?
I guess.
Really?
I guess.
mean, when my Bears lose, I'm not depressed.
Hey, I guess we won't see the Gary till to the last game of the season when they beat Dallas again, huh?
He was happy when they beat Dallas last night. Oh, was he happy? And he says, "Hail to the Redskins, bitches."
It's the only time in the year he's happy is when they beat the Cowboys.
Hey, so the only time, what about the Giants?
He's an idiot. They didn't beat him.
That's my point. Well, they still have one game left with the Giants.
That's right.
Yeah, in New York.
What about the Eagles?
I don't care about the Eagles.
Well, Frank, I gotta talk with you about this game just a little bit. I know Jeff and I talked about the first hours, but your thoughts? I thought Dallas played real sloppy last night. 2 fumbles in the game, and Jeff and I talked about it 12 times on third down. They blitzed Tony Romo, and he got hurt. My first concern was, Jerry Jones.
My first concern was Skip Bayless is a moron.
Hey, did you guys see? Hold on. Was it right for ESPN? And this is where ESPN really messed up the game coverage. Should they have had Jerry Jones in his owner's box? Did you guys see the interview?
Yeah, I
did.
They should have not had that interview. We don't care about what Jerry Jones has to say. Okay, then you know what? If you're going to interview Jerry Jones, then you know what you need to do? You need to interview the owner of every home team on Monday Night Football every week.
Correct. I agree with you.
That's bias. That is absolute bias on ESPN last night.
I agree. I
Shout
totally agree.
A shout out to Double A. Welcome, buddy. 27-0. You got to hit Jeff with that since the Eagles beat the Giants a couple weeks ago.
Are you still talking about that? I'm past that. How come the Eagles couldn't beat the freaking Arizona team the other night?
I better be hearing John Mara on Monday Night Football next week.
He's still talking about 2 weeks ago. Don't worry about 2 weeks ago. Worry about what happened Sunday. They lost to Arizona.
Thanks for not scoring, New York. That's what Double A says.
Doesn't matter.
And Josh says Arizona's for real.
What happened? They couldn't beat Arizona Sunday. I thought your team was good. Don't bash my team. You beat them already. Now you can't beat Arizona? Come on.
Hey, Double A has to sleep very well last night because Philadelphia is only 1 game back in the NFC East there, Jeff and Frank.
Hey, by the way, can I give a prop to who I think should be the Rat Beastard of the week? Can I, Jeff?
Who?
I think it should be Lamar Houston of the Bears.
Why?
Did you see Lamar Houston after a sack of all quarterbacks? It wasn't Tom Brady. It was Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
He sacks Garoppolo with the game out of reach in the fourth quarter. The Bears are down by 25. He celebrates a sack, jumps in the air, injures himself, and we found out yesterday it was a torn ACL and he's out for the season. Why do you celebrate a sack when you're down by 25 points?
Because he's frustrated.
That's
frustrated.
Stupid. That's stupid. That's who I want to be the Rat Beastard of the week.
Rat Beastard. It's Rat Bastard. Rat Beastard.
I call it Beastard.
Beastard.
Gary just, okay, right, I'm off. I'll see you bastards later.
Get
Hail
out
to
of here,
the
you
Redskins.
Get out of here, you hypocrite.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Craig, how you doing, buddy?
Gosh dang hypocrite.
Yeah, then he shows up when his team wins. Yep.
I think he just wanted to tease us.
He's a bandwagon fan.
Oh my goodness.
He's all happy because, they win last night. I've been getting tagged by Gary, oh my gosh, on Facebook.
Well, you know what?
About Redskins this, hail to the Redskins. Redskins are for real. They're going to be going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they ain't going anywhere.
You know what, Gary? Why don't you stop being cuckoo for more than just Cocoa Puffs? All right, stop being delusional. You know what? The Bears aren't going to the Super Bowl. All right, why don't you stop living like it's 1991?
Exactly. Early 90s, the last time the Redskins won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 91 season specifically.
Yeah, but Frank, I got to ask you, going back to this game, Dallas needs to be concerned, right? Look at them. They got Arizona coming up this weekend, 6-1 Cardinals who are red hot. And I said to Jeff, they have nothing to lose going into next weekend's game.
You know, that's one team that, and Nicholas and I talked about that on Press Row Central yesterday. You get the sense that the Arizona Cardinals, with what they've been able to do this year, that they've become the Rodney Dangerfields of the NFL. No respect.
Correct.
They have gotten no respect. They win a crucial game against the Eagles. And what I mean by crucial is you're talking about a team that is actually has a pretty good offense. Philadelphia, they have a pretty good offense. But they win within the final minutes of the game on a Carson Palmer touchdown pass down the left sideline. But this is a team that many people aren't discussing because they're in the NFC West. On top of that, they're in the division with the Seattle Seahawks of the Super Bowl champs. You got the San Francisco 49ers. They're in that division too. The Dallas Cowboys, of course, they're so-called America's team. They're heavily publicized. Look, the Cardinals, I think they like this. I think they like being the Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL. No respect. They're getting none. But you know what? If they go in and beat Dallas on Sunday in the Palace of Jerry, they will get the respect. At least they better. They already have my respect. But if they win on Sunday, all of America better start showing them respect.
They would be 7-1 if they pull that one out.
But that's respect enough.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Last commercial break of the day.
Let's head to it. You're listening to Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Sean Mann and the big win, Frank Sprankle, sitting in with us like he does each and every Tuesday and Thursday in the second hour of the show that we do here on SportsWorldRadio.com every Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock on the West Coast and 6 o'clock on the East Coast. And if you live in the mountain,
Figure
That would be
it
4
out.
o'clock.
Figure it out for yourself.
The mountain
Frank got
time
there.
is 5 o'clock, Central time is 4 o'clock, Pacific time is 3 o'clock. So nana poo-poo.
Hey, you know what? Hey, guys, I'll tell you what. I was hoping we could discuss the possibility, staying on the NFL, about it returning to Los Angeles maybe as early as next year.
Could be the San Diego Chargers.
That
San
is
Diego
very,
Chargers.
very true.
Could be the St. Louis Rams.
Well, you know what? Don't rule out the Oakland Raiders. The
It
Raiders.
could be the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, the Oakland Raiders are still a possibility, Frank, that they could move to L.A. Marcus Allen says
That's why they're tanking.
that he wouldn't mind it.
That's why they're tanking.
From my understanding, the Rams have a year-by-year lease with the city of St. Louis, or with the stadium, whatever dome, Edward Jones Dome. Remember, it used to be called the TWA Dome when it opened. But apparently it's a one-year lease for the St. Louis Rams. Now, I read there's also the possibility of, if not next year, I mean, we don't even know if the NFL is going to be coming back to Los Angeles next year. It may not. But
I
there's
still
the
think
possibility.
they will.
Next year you're talking about.
They don't have a stadium. Well, they're not going to go next year. They don't even have a stadium built.
Wait, hold on. Can't they play in a temporary stadium?
No.
You got the Rose Bowl, LA Coliseum.
No. That's why they want to build a stadium, because those places suck.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that what Jeff says, either 2016 or 2017 would be the time, Frank, for the NFL to return to Los Angeles. Now, you have to remember, the last time the NFL happened in L.A., you had the Raiders that played in L.A., and that was from the 80s to 1994. That was when Art Shell was coach. And then you had the LA Rams. The LA Rams then moved to St. Louis and became the St. Louis Rams. And I know sometimes for an NFL fan or a fan of these two teams, it just had to make them sick with moves that have happened. It's just like when the Baltimore Colts moved to Indianapolis and became the Indianapolis Colts, or the Browns moving to Baltimore to become the Baltimore Ravens.
Or does everyone remember the Oilers after the 1996 season moving to Tennessee, becoming the Tennessee Oilers for 2 seasons?
I remember
which didn't make
that.
sense until they had the new stadium built in Nashville. But I don't think there's been any approval for a new LA stadium for an NFL team.
Yeah,
I mean, have you guys heard of any approval? I have not heard. Listen, I would have heard about this by now. I would have heard that there has been approval there, and obviously, in order for you to put a shovel into a ground to build the stadium, you have to have approval.
Right.
That hasn't happened.
Right. No, I know. And it's going to be a hard time getting it.
So how can you? All right, look. How can you bring a team back to LA if you don't have the approval for the stadium? It would be different if you have the approval and you play in the LA Coliseum or in the Rose Bowl for a season or two while the stadium is being built, because you know you're getting a stadium.
I will agree with this. I will agree and say an NFL team comes back to LA. I will agree with that. I will disagree that the NFL should not be playing and having an NFL team in London, England. By this time next year, by this time next year, Frank, the NFL has decided they will play 5 regular season games in London, England, which is an absolute joke. And the British government is just itching to get an NFL team in London, which is another joke.
Okay, let me tell you this, too. Now, here's something that I apparently have heard, that London will give up any regular season games if they are given a Super Bowl.
Ugh.
Apparently, from what I understand, is that London is willing to not host a regular season game because they've hosted multiple games the last couple of years now, 5 next year. They've said, we don't mind not hosting a regular season game for one season if you give us the Super Bowl for
It
1
was
year.
It was either yesterday or last week, Jeff, that you said if the NFL puts an NFL team in London, England, I will boycott the NFL.
Yeah, that's stupid. You're not looking out for the players' safety at all.
And look at the teams that have to fly all the way over there. You're like the Chargers or the Raiders or the 49ers all the way to London, England just to play one game. And people having to get up at 6:30 in the morning or something,
Tony
which
Romo's
is where
gotta-
Jeff and I live, and Frank would be 8:30 your time.
Tony
I didn't even
Romo's
get
gotta
up
hurt
to
back.
watch that
I did
game.
get up. I did.
Right, Tony.
And I didn't turn it off at halftime. I did watch the second half. I watched the Falcon debacle. I watched what was one of the strangest of all finishes I've ever seen in the history of watching the NFL, and that was a great game. And you know what? People in London are probably saying, you know what? We need a game every week now after what we saw on Sunday.
Well, Tony Romo's got to fly back there.
Deserve a team.
Tony Romo's got to fly to London when his hurt back. Correct? He's got to
in
sit
a
in
few
that
weeks against the Jaguars.
And now he's got to sit in that plane
do
with
you
his.
think Jerry Jones is going to give up a home game?
He's got to sit in that plane for all those hours with his hurt back, you think he's going to have a good game? Get the hell out of here. You think his back is going to be fine? Get the hell out of here.
And think about all the jet lag, Frank, of having to fly all the way there. I know, Jeff, if you were an NFL player and you were for the Chargers or the 49ers, you'd be like, oh, heck with this. I'll just call in sick and watch the rest from home.
All right, Los Angeles is not a good sports city. You do have a lot of bandwagon fans there. However, I would rather see the NFL have 2 teams in Los Angeles than 1 in London.
Me too.
I would rather see the LA have an NFC team and an AFC team like it was until 1994 with the Rams and Raiders over having 1 team in London.
Me too.
But what would you think of as a name for a London team?
I'm not going to think about it because London doesn't need a team.
They don't deserve a team.
I'm not even thinking of a name. What team should if the NFL moves to London, what name should the team have? I don't want to think about it because London shouldn't have it.
That's right.
And I think, and you know what? A lot of the ESPN experts have said, no, bad idea. Do not put an NFL team in London, because I'm beginning to think like Jeff that I'll boycott the NFL and I'll be done with it because it just doesn't make sense. The NFL is in America. It's like it's America's game. Everybody loves watching it on Sundays, early morning and mid-afternoon and Sunday nights. And, of course, and another thing, NFL, get rid of the Thursday night games. This has still been a joke. Look at player, like Jeff said, player safety. Think about that. Think about a London team having to play Sunday and then having to play Thursday, and the team has to fly. Oh, gosh, that's just makes me sick even thinking about it.
I'm with you.
Well, you know what? Here's what I say. What about Thanksgiving Day games? Now, my opinion on Thanksgiving Day, you give the bye week, you don't play that Sunday before the Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah.
That's what you should do if you're going to talk about safety. If you're going to be the Lions, Cowboys, and the oppositions of those teams, then fine. You can play on Thanksgiving, but you get a bye the previous week.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. By the time Thanksgiving comes around, all the buys are done.
All right, but then you resort to the buys that week for those teams.
Well, how can you? All the buys are done. What are you going to give them 2 weeks off?
Here's a question. You talk about Thanksgiving. Do you agree, though, with having 3 games on Thanksgiving, like the early morning?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We all know it's the Lions and the Cowboys, but what about that Sunday?
I'm okay with that.
Thursday
Wait a minute.
I'm okay with that.
Make us
Who cares? I'm okay with the 3 games. It doesn't bother me at all.
No, it doesn't either, because that's what people do. Eat turkey, have their big Thanksgiving dinner, be thankful, and go watch football.
Yeah, that's what Thanksgiving is, and that's what turkey is. Hey, we're getting the flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. We had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. For Sean Mann, Frank Sprankle, I'm Jeff Escal. This has been Sports World Radio. Peace out, bitches. We will see you tomorrow.
See you later, and enjoy the World Series, ladies and gentlemen.
Adios, amigos.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over.